Hello guys and welcome to a First Descendant video. Today we're going to be talking about what's happening in the next update of First Descendant and be going over everything that is coming with it that is known right now. I will be doing a video going over the update in whole once it releases, going over the patch notes and everything, but that is later. That is tomorrow whenever it actually drops. There's also a scheduled downtime that we will go over at the end of the video, but it's only like a few hours and it doesn't affect part of the world. It does affect some, but it's the scheduled downtime to get the update up. It just sort of has to happen. But guys, let's get straight into the video. The first big thing that's coming with this update is Ultimate Valby. She is getting a complete makeover that's showing off way more of her skin in this outfit. And she's also getting a other outfit that is black and red that covers up most of her skin, which is the opposite one. That's the deluxe skin, pretty much, that you have to get if you purchase Ultimate Valby. The, like, bigger, more expensive one, how they make their money pack. But she is going to be getting a bunch of stat increases and also 2 new looks, which should be on the screen right now. Both of these are coming with the game in this new update dropping on the 31st. The other things that are also coming with this update are Spiral Tidal Wave and Hydro Pressure Bomb, her new modification modules. The first one replaces her first ability, which is Bubble Bullet, which is difficult to aim in their own words, and they replace it with a projectile that flies straight, so very similar to how Viesa's first works with the icicle flying forward. That's how the ability, I'm guessing, is going to work. This is also really good against Gluttony in their own words, the new raid boss that's coming out. Though the boss is also based, surprisingly, it looks like, on Cold, but we'll talk more about him in a minute. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty decent, like, DPS, but it says it attracts the impurities of Gluttony, making it an excellent choice for intercepting Gluttony. So I'm wondering if it's going to be either buff the weak point damage, or it's going to buff critical hit. It sounds like that, or it's going to make those areas easier to hit. The second one is Hydro Pressure Bomb. This replaces Plop Plop. It allows you to leap forward instead, that deals damage to enemies around the landing area, which sounds cool because it's still going to be a movement ability like Plop Plop. Instead, you just jump forward. This also is a buff to, if more enemies are in a laundry state, they get more damage done to them if they're in this, and it also makes the damage more powerful if there is more enemies in it. This also makes it a pretty much finishing blow to enemies, so it's going to deal a bullcrap amount of damage, is what it sounds like. And it practically seems like these are the 2 abilities that people have issues with Valby on. Some people like one of them and not the other at all, while me, I like the second ability, but I think the first is lacking, personally. But that is Ultimate Valby. That's everything about her. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. The second biggest thing that's being added in with this update, and the thing I'm most excited for, is the sound-based Descendant, Luna. She is a Descendant that sounds like she's going to be a support tank character base, but has a module called Noise Surge that transforms her into a combat dealer that also has support and capabilities. But it sounds like they're more or less for supporting herself, so turns her into a strong solo play Descendant, is what it sounds like. The first of hers, though, is that she is getting a gun called a synthesizer gun, so she's getting pretty much a sound burst submachine gun or pistol, is what it sounds like. That's my guesses for it. I'd be fine if it was an LMG like Freyna. But that's what that ability, I'm assuming, is going to be very much like, though, is like Freyna's ability, so I assume it's going to be her fourth. She has 2 abilities that are pretty much given to her. I do not know what her 4th ability would be, though, from this. The 2 other abilities, it sounds like, is there's pretty much you can choose which music your character will be listening to, and you dance to it. You either choose upbeat music if you want your skill power to increase, and that's what, and it helps your ally skill power increase as well. Or you do relaxing music, and your mentality and your resource consumption decreases, which is your MP, is mainly what that's going to be, and then also makes it so your MP recovery is faster. So that sounds really good, in my opinion. Though I assume what it might be right now is that her first is her dancing, her second is deciding the upbeat music, the third is deciding the relaxing music, and the fourth is the synthesizer gun, is what I can assume her abilities are right now, though we do not know yet. So if that is not final, that is just me having a crack at it. But she is getting 2 modification modules, being Nimble Footsteps is the first one. Enhances her mobility and amplifies the effect range of each of her music performances, so whenever she dances and buffs those, is what it's going to be. It's also going to buff the range of them, so she's going to have a big support range on her just with this mod increase, plus you can also put in other mods to increase her range as well, so she'll have a lot of coverage if you do that, and leads you more into team support with that one. Noise Surge sounds more the solo play route, which is the one I was talking about earlier. It turns her into a supporter and a combat dealer. Takes her from a supporting role to a combat dealer. She dashes towards enemies in rhythm and deals damage to nearby enemies. Another big thing I forgot to mention about this character is its based amount keeping in the rhythm that is based on the sound that you're listening to, is what I'm guessing. She also sounds like she's going to get a second bar like Bunny, in a sense, so I think she's going to be some competition for Bunny, though I don't know if she will be better yet, because she sounds more along the lines of buffing herself, like shield-wise, so she's going to be very tanky to kill, is what it seems. She has an inspiration gauge, which is in the modification modules. If you look at Noise Surge, it's talked about. And this increases her mental health. You can summon a stage to recover her mental health and shields with this module. And it provides enemies with damage, is what it sounds like, so it's going to be an AoE. And it sounds like it's going to be a one that's around her when she moves, so I'm very much looking forward to see how that's going to compare to Bunny's. But let's move on to the next thing that's being added. Next thing that's being added is a new intercept, boss being Gluttony. He is a modification of Devourer, so take the T-Rex one, but make it cold, is what it sounds like. So it's a lot like Swamp Walker or Frostwalker, but it's just a new Devourer version, which I'm actually fine with. That's good. It allows different stuff to be added into the game quickly. But he has equipped with a system to mine void energy and a cooling system to cool the heat for void energy. To counter Gluttony, you need measures to withstand its cooling performance and the judgment to exploit its greedy temperament. So I'm trying to figure out if it's going to be hot and cold, which would be very unique, because that means you'd have to bring 2 different weapons and stuff, and also figure out which one is worth putting on if you are putting on defense stuff like that, for either cold or hot. If it's both, that'd be a very unique boss fight. But that is generally all we're getting. We do know that we're going to be getting a new set of components with him as well, but that's it. We got one new ultimate weapon coming in that's called the Peacemaker 2. It's going to be a hand cannon, is what it's supposed to be. Went to Destiny there for a moment. But this hand cannon is a single shot, but eventually becomes a burst. So I assume it's going to have a charge up, or if it's after you hit a crit or a weak point, that you will be given a burst shot, and then you shoot it and it deals DPS. So it is a DPS hand cannon first and foremost. It is not a support hand cannon like Nystra's Devotion. It sounds cool. I just don't know if it's going to be something I'm going to main over Nystra's, because I like the weak point damage increase for my primaries. The other thing that's being added is a new ultimate module that sounds like it's going to be very helpful for tanks. So Ajax and Luna is what they both say in the description, so that leads me to believe that Luna is a tank one, but for shields, is what it sounds like. But this increases the defense and mentality when using skills, but decreases movement speed and attack power. It sounds good if you're maining for the bubble shield and the actual shield on the Ajax. It does not sound good if you're going for the AoE burst damage and stuff. It wouldn't be something you would not want to do for that, but if you wanting to survive practically anything, it sounds like it's going to be very helpful on that side. So it sounds unique, though it doesn't sound like something I'm going to necessarily be gunning for, though I will look into it more. This also is going to be a load of balance adjustments with this update. and they're practically buffing the AoE capabilities of Valby, Blair, and Freyna. They're also making sure that these are comparable to other ones, mainly Bunny. Like, we're gonna say this out there, it's most likely they want to make it comparable to Bunny. Though I think these ones already have the capability of pretty much locking down zones, so even Bunny doesn't even have time to kill them, with them pretty much putting the stuff in the spawn doorways and stuff relatively easily, especially Blair. Freyna can too. Two of her abilities can pretty much lock down areas. Though she is definitely weaker than some of the other ones. This is also a buff for Valby, which I'm looking forward to, with her already being an ultimate descendant with a buff. I'm happy for. It's one of my most played ones as well. But we're also getting weapon buffs, being everybody's new favorite weapon. Enduring Legacy is getting a buff. I don't suspect it's going to be much, but it's going to be mainly critical hit rate, is what it sounds like, and also weak point to make all of the ultimate weapons more worth using than some of the other ones, though they are worth using over a lot of the purples already. They're also upgrading Secret Garden and Nysha's Devotion to make them also have more damage. Nysha's Devotion, I'm looking forward to that one, since it's already one of the known best weapons in the game with its perk. They're also buffing Gred's Reversed Fate to make its an active unique effect have more chances, so I hope they put it on weak points, criticals, and other stuff like that to make it proc more. Actually make those type of rifles actually have a reason in the game right now. Though I do like playing with them, I don't think they necessarily are the best. It's the same with beam rifles. Beam rifles are more like flamethrowers to me in the game than anything else. That's how I use them. But they are also adding a select fire functionality for guns, being single fire or rapid fire modes. I hope it's single fire. I hope is a massive damage increase, while rapid fire is more forgiving. Is the purpose of it? That's how I want it to be. And lastly, they're going to be updating cosmetics and other stuff that's not been shown off yet that we'll be talking about on the 31st when it releases here on this channel. I'll be going over all of that stuff as well. But guys, that's the end of all this stuff, and let's talk about one more thing. The update will have maintenance from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning PDT. You can convert that to your time zone as you please, but it won't affect the majority of people if you're living in the US, I don't think. I don't know my time zones that well, though, so eh. But it's releasing on the 31st of July, and I'll be seeing you guys there in the update.